There was a dust-up a few months ago when the Commerce Department in the U.S. wanted to slap duties on Bombardier C-Series planes coming from Canada into the U.S. and eventually the Federal Trade Commission said no. But out of that, did we see Bombardier turning to Airbus? Was that the impetus for that deal where Airbus has purchased a controlling interest in the C-Series jet?
It was certainly something that really brought it to the fore. But I asked Alain Bellemare ahead of my radio show recently and said, would you do that same deal with Airbus? And he said, 20 times out of 20. Because what Airbus brings to the table is a global sales force and service force much bigger than Bombardier because of the size and relationships with virtually every major airline in the world. Because it's Airbus, there's Boeing and Airbus, the two great players. So it really adds to the ability to get the C-Series sold.
The plane is taking off now after several years of delays and cost overruns?
They haven't announced any big sales since then. One is it's got to get final approval, the Airbus Bombardier deal that hasn't gone through yet. So it's something where they're out there campaigning. I think we'll see some announcements probably at Farnborough Air Show in London area in July.
Their corporate jet sales are doing well.
That's one of the bright spots. The new 7000, which is now in test flight, they're very excited Bombardier about because it's, leapfrogging technology. It's going to be greater distances, more environmentally friendly. It's going to do some great things. And the world economy is into buying jets right now, business jets, in a way it wasn't 5 years ago. So that bodes well for the future. Life's uncertain, but it bodes well if that keeps going.
And what's good for Bombardier is good for Quebec and Montreal.
Oh, absolutely. There are thousands of well-paying jobs, and they're much better paying than the average job in Quebec. And it's engineering degrees. Touring the plant, there's a lot of technology, a lot of people with a lot of education up there, and they're jobs that are just great for our economy.
And obviously a great interest on this side of the border in Bombardier Rail. Did the CEO, Alain Bellemare, talk about rail? I mean, there have been, in New York, there has been some difficulty with Bombardier subway cars where they were not completely satisfied with the product that they were getting.
Oh, they had problems in Toronto and Montreal. Part of what Alain's doing in a 5-year turnaround, we're about halfway through it, is changing the culture. And on the transportation side, it's meeting your commitments, not overstating what you can do, and delivering, because the reputation's been hurt worldwide because of these, when the opposition salespeople are spreading the news, but people are aware of what's going on. So that's something they've had to really work on the culture, to get a culture of delivery, of culture of keeping your promises and making it happen. They've fallen short in that way, and that's something they're trying to change. But it's going to take some years. They're about halfway through it. And it takes some years for the reputation to recover in the marketplace, and you do that by simply delivering.